What is it?
The stuff that dreams are made of.
This one? This one right here? This one right here. This one. At the movies, our first rodeo, guys. You know, I'm just listening to that music as time goes by. Oh my goodness. I've said this jokingly, but if you're booking my funeral, I want music. I want that music as the casket goes down. I want the Greek music too and all the chanting, but that I brought you in on a high. I love the music is just fabulous, and the editing job that my good friend Dave Perkins did back at Comcast days, and we're at Mars Vision in beautiful downtown Sarasota, kind of. And we're doing a show with one of my favorite people on earth. Roxy Baker is here. How are you, Rox?
I'm great. Thank you for that compliment.
Well, you know, you're a friend, and I've got so few left.
I think you're Mr. Universe. So I'll go one step higher.
Really? Arnold, like this? I must break you. I love doing this show because, you know, there's movies are out, and I'm starting to go back to the theater. You've been going to the theater.
Yes.
Have you noticed people are more comfortable going? Are they like they're?
Yeah, definitely. There's more crowd. There's definitely more people. For
So
sure.
one movie theater that you want? I don't want to. Cinebistro you like to go to?
I love Cinebistro.
Okay.
Because you're in like almost a cubicle.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yes,
There's some
it is.
privacy to it, which I like.
It's good. We saw West Side Story there with Jay and Mia. That was a great experience.
Fun.
95 for the new one and 98 for the old one. I got to give my tip. I'm always going to go.
Oh, for
I
sure.
love Stevie S. Spielberg, but you know. So we got some films tonight. You know, I got my classes at Longboat Key Education Center, guys. It's at the Temple Beth Israel over on Longboat Key.
Sure.
Because I'm 10% Jewish. By the end of this semester, I'll be 70% Jewish. You know what's the definition of chutzpah?
Yes.
Did I tell you this?
No.
Last week? So they have parking situations like parking down at Burns or down there at Sarasota State Auction, Sarasota Trading Company. There's limited parking.
Oh, okay.
So at the temple, it's like you got to park, you know, there's like 14 spaces and 75 people coming. But there's the rabbi spot. And that was the only one empty. Do you park in it? Definition of chutzpah. If you park there, that's the definition.
Yes.
You go to confession if they did confession.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, it's fun. I'm doing my classes, and we're just finishing up foreign film, you know, kind of 4 films. And one of the films I did was Bong Joon-ho.
Uh-huh.
Bong Joon-ho. Is that how we say it, Mia?
Yeah. You got it.
Thank you. Mia's my she works like remember in the great Singing in the Rain when they did the rain in Spain with the vowels.
Mainly on the plane.
You must enunciate.
Right.
So Bong Joon-ho, Eggs Farhudi,
Yes.
who has done a ton of great stuff,
Right.
and the gentleman who did I'm gonna cheat here. Who did Coming Home 2014?
Oh, I actually wrote that down.
2014.
It's one of my favorite foreign films of all time.
Yeah, Zhang Yimou.
Because of you. I
Yeah,
mean, that,
Gong Li, and she is stunning. And
that is a piece of art.
it is. It should hang in a museum or
It
down in
should.
Andrews Gallery. You know, people don't realize all the elements that go into the collaboration. Mia does because she puts films together, and you're a writer and you're a screenwriter. And I get it because, you know, I've been on both sides of the camera and in background and producing something. There's a lot of elements.
Sure.
So when it comes together and it's something great.
Yeah.
So this is my lead into my first movie because this is playing. The first movie we're going to talk about is Drive My Car, which I've not seen.
Right.
It's
It's 3 hours.
2 hours and 59 minutes.
Yes.
Who's counting? But already I'm getting pushback from my class. What's the story? You know, they have like a 12-minute attention span.
Yeah.
So you've seen the movie.
I have.
And it is by
Ryosuke Hamaguchi.
God bless you.
I practiced.
God bless you.
He's a young director, too.
Yes.
He's a very young director.
With a lot of vowels.
Yes.
So you saw this at Burns. We see it last
I
week?
did. Yeah.
Okay. 2 hours, 59 minutes. It's subtitles, obviously, Japanese.
Yep.
How does this? Well, give me your kind of synopsis. What's it about?
Okay, the interesting thing about it is it's about 2 people, different generations, different upbringings, but with a similar pain. And so she's the driver. She's a, what do you call
Limousine,
it?
Uber?
Limousine, driver. And he happens to be the rider. And there's an intimacy that forms, I think, anytime when you're in a car with someone for a long time, right? And I mean, especially over days.
Maybe that's what I'm not doing right.
So it's interesting how, and it's a very slow burn. I would say the slowest burn in history.
Slowest burn.
Yeah.
So I still haven't intimated what you really like, that thumbs up thing.
Okay. I loved it days after. I didn't like it in the moment.
Loved it days after.
Because I was built up to saying, well, it won the Golden Globe. It's got to be the best thing ever. Best foreign film. I'm thinking Parasite. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And it's just not that.
Okay.
But,
it's a different pace.
Totally different.
And
different, very stilted emotions, which
Yeah.
again is the Asian culture, which I'm not used to, but I appreciated the themes later.
All right, we're going to go to a
Yeah.
clip, and I want you to talk a little bit more about that. But I think you put it well. Is that it's a different. You can't compare. We're talking about Parasite versus.
Sure.
Have you seen the movie about the super pig on Netflix?
No.
Okcho?
No.
Oh my God, Okcho! I'm going to give you a film. I have a film for you guys. Mia's looking at me like, did he just had a stroke?
That's Boon Joong-ho too, isn't it?
It's Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's a movie that can make you laugh, cry,
I've heard.
and think. Now, it's not the it's not the masterpiece that Parasite is. I told my class that I had to tell them. I said, if you don't like Parasite, you don't like film.
Right.
You don't. I mean,
No way.
you don't. It's not like, well, you might not. If you don't. You don't have to love it, but you have to appreciate, respect it. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So this is the director again. Give it to me.
Ryosuke Hamaguchi.
God bless you. I'm a doctor that can do something with that. Drive My Car, playing at Burns Court tomorrow.
今回は私たちの決まりでドライバーを用意します。
というと、
彼女です。
渡美咲です。
僕はまだドライバーを君に頼むことに同意してない。
私が若い女だからですか？
高槻コーチです。アーストロフ役を希望します。
そこまでありがとう。カセットテープを再生してくれないか。
はい。
どうした？そんな浮かない顔をして。
誰の声なんですか？
妻の声だ。2年前に死んだ。
お父さんって素敵じゃないですか。とても。
君はこう考えてる。僕たちは同じ悲しみを共有してる。同じ女を愛したから。彼女の運転はどうですか？車に乗ってるのを忘れることもある。彼女にドライバーを頼んでもらってよかったと今は思ってます。君はどうして広島に？
実家の裏が山なんです。大雨で地滑りが起きて、母はその事故で亡くなったんです。
上十二滝村、君の育った場所、僕に見せる気はあるか？
Soft piano. I love reviewers a beguiling gem. Then you don't have to say anything else. You just hear a beguiling gem. See it. If you don't, I'm never speaking to you again. And say it with an accent.
Yes.
Love it, like it, loathe it.
I liked it. It's based on a Murakami short story. So first of all, hello, short story. Does not compute to 3-hour movie.
Right. That's
But
a good
obviously
point.
he wrote a lot more into it. The plot is intriguing. It's just very slow.
The movie's longer than the book.
It is.
That's a
You
trick.
could have read it, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I will say one thing about a minor character, Masaki Okada, who you saw there. He's a young kid.
Yeah.
He had the most range in the movie as far as his character, and he was really good. So there's a lot, too. There's a lot of levels. There's not a lot of cinematography. I mean, the road's boring, right? When you're on a highway, isn't it kind of boring?
Love it.
But there's two.
Go on the road tomorrow.
There's two shots that like really stand out, and so again, maybe that's part of it. Let's just make it very level, and then.
I'm looking forward to it. So we're gonna do this sometime and come back and like regroup. I want to get your opinion on a film that we both have seen.
Okay.
And I just I wrote my review in my class, and I'll share a little bit of Pedro Almodovar. You
Yes.
like his work? And I'm a big Penelope Cruz fan.
Yes. In fact, you said you had a man crush on someone, which I don't know if you want to say it on air, but I have a woman crush on Penelope.
I have a man and woman crush on these two,
Yeah, Javier,
which is
you mean?
Javier Bardem
Yeah.
and Penelope
Yeah.
Cruz. And when they were in the movie,
Everybody knows.
everybody knows, which we have a clip of, because I want people to go back and watch something.
Yeah.
He's a master filmmaker, Iranian filmmaker.
Yeah.
He's one of my top 5 directors today.
Right. But now we're going to confuse because now we're talking about Pedro.
No, we're talking about Pedro,
Right.
who's basically the muse for Penelope's his muse.
Yes, totally.
He's had her in, I think it's 7, 8, 9 movies
Yes.
or something.
And he actually writes for her in mind. I saw an
Yes.
interview with her saying
When
that.
you write, because that's an interesting question, I write with a person in mind. I write with an actor in mind. I wrote a thing called Frank, and I'm still working on it. I'm doing my dad's thing first, and
Sure.
then I wrote with De Niro and Pacino in mind as the brothers.
Oh, wow.
De Niro in a wheelchair. It was a real cool piece.
Mm-hmm.
But I put the words in his mouth like that. It's like and then other people I wrote for an actress.
That's good.
Do you write that way?
No, my screenplay that I wrote, I did not write with any. I had sort of a vision in mind, but no real humans.
So he thinks of her.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and he's quite an auteur.
In fact, he had the idea for this new one, Parallel Lives, or
Parallel
Parallel
Mother.
Mothers,
Yes.
long time
Yeah.
ago, and told her about it, and then didn't come back to it till later. So
Well, it's a theme that he goes back to.
yeah.
The last movie we just talked about, because you like Antonio Banderas.
Oh
right?
yeah, for sure.
You know, one of the films that I really love him in, and I just talked about this film. I love Denzel in Hanks in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
But then him as the lover of Hanks's,
Oh yeah.
Andrew's
Yeah.
lover.
I forgot about
It's
that.
a small part, but there's a sensitivity to him.
Yeah,
especially.
I forgot that. Yeah.
But that movie was Pain and Glory.
Yes.
That one didn't land all the way with you, and she's in that as well.
I liked it. Again, that was one of those slow burn
Yeah.
things where you had to think about it later.
So this one you haven't seen yet. You're
No.
looking forward to it.
I'm
This
totally.
is playing this week at Burns Court Cinemas.
Yep.
This is my next movie I'm scheduling.
Good.
I wanted to schedule Drive My Car just to torture my students. Because they always go, you always think I'm responsible for making the film. I said, I just assigned the film.
It's really, I mean, just one more thing. Drive My Car is very deep. I mean, it's
Yes.
got like Uncle Vanya,
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot to it. So
Yes.
it's meaty. But
All right.
anyway, back to Parallel Mothers.
So Parallel Mothers, Penelope Cruz, you got a crush on her?
Yes.
Yeah, she's my choice to play.
Yeah, she's a woman that you feel sexy just watching her. I mean, it's weird.
You know,
You just feel sexier. I don't know. It's true.
I could do a lot with that line, but I won't. I'll just go to the beautiful Penelope Cruz. I'm probably going to. In Parallel Mothers, opening this weekend at Burns Court Cinema down there, right next to Owen's Fish Camp, right in front of Sarasota Trading Company.
A mí me encanta la idea de tener un hijo contigo, Yanis, pero no sé si puedo permitírmelo ahora.
No es cuestión de si podemos permitírnoslo. Es cuestión de que ya está aquí.
Si vuelve aquí no hará sino remover las cosas.
Yo no puedo perder esta oportunidad. Si dejo la compañía no volveré a trabajar nunca más. Pues vete de gira.
Va a ser muy morena como tú.
Es muy morena.
En caso de duda, la única solución es hacerse una prueba.
Yo no tengo dudas.
Pero yo sí.
Ya, mi amor, ¿qué es esto?
Cada vez la veo más étnica, ¿eh?
Yo solo me acosté con Arturo.
Pues toda esa de tu padre.
Uy, esos barquillos. El tiempo que hacía que no los veía. Oye, ¿tú has pelado patatas alguna vez?
¿Me estás ofreciendo que trabaje aquí? ¿Y qué tengo que hacer?
Pues cuidar de Cecilia y de la casa. Bueno, yo encantada de fotografiar zapatos y cinturones.
Hija, me da cosa que tú eres demasiada fotógrafa para esto.
Pero necesito trabajar.
Los actores son todos de izquierdas.
¿Tú de qué eres?
Yo soy apolítica.
Mi trabajo es gustarle a todo el mundo.
Pero ¿y tu hija dónde está?
No soporto que te la lleves.
¿No pensaste nunca en mí?
Todo el tiempo. Mi amor, yo te quiero mucho, ¿eh?
Tiene rasgos de mi madre.
So, we are back after that musical interlude. Mia was so funny and great as Roxy said, you know, I just feel sexy watching that first scene. And Mia goes, yeah, that makes me feel sexy.
Yeah, being in child labor always makes you feel sexy.
Yeah, the things that are probably said, oh, that's so funny.
No, it sounds like an interesting story because Melina Smith plays the younger. It's about two women in labor in the same room. And Melina Smith's
yeah, it's
the
a
younger.
great metaphor.
Yeah.
But he's out there, and he's an auteur. There's a stamp on his films that you get with Bong Joon-ho and you get with Farhudi.
Yeah.
Here's a film I want you to dig up, rent it. I don't even know. Do you rent things? I don't even know.
Sometimes you do.
Can stream, right? It just
Sure.
comes on. This is a film called. This is with her other half, Javier Bardem. I love this guy, and I'm transfixed on him when I was watching No Country for Old Men the other night, and it's like the haircut is enough to like. You know, you flip the coin.
Yeah, right.
You married into this, that line. You married into this with the line to the guy. It's fabulous, Coen Brothers vehicle, but he's so good. This is Everybody Knows. Pre-pandemic, this is like one of my favorite films.
Yeah.
Check this out, because this is the beautiful Penelope and the beautiful Javier.
When you come home to a place of old friends and family traditions, some things change and some don't. But even when life has moved on, the past doesn't always stay in the past.
Irene. Irene!
What he illustrates there with just those shots, not a lot of dialogue in this. You're not seeing anything really. What masters without just the face, both of those actors.
Yeah.
He is so fabulous, and he has a new film come. So that was a little flashback. I want to throw that, and those. Obviously, those two wonderful actors are in it who are married in real life. So there's a lot of chemistry there. They're not faking anything. This is a new movie. It's supposed to be coming out the end of the month. A Hero.
Actually, unfortunately, it's coming out on Amazon. No offense to Amazon, but I want to see it on this big screen. But
So
it's
it won't
coming out.
run. It won't run at all on the big screen.
I don't know. I haven't seen previews for it anywhere.
Yeah,
but
this is the trouble. This is troubling.
yeah,
because
it's called A Hero, and his stories. He writes all of his own stories.
Yes.
I mean, that's an intricate story.
No,
Everybody knows.
Oh my God, it is. Yes.
And it's always got this moral dilemma, which you love because you think about it later, like, what would I do? You know, a separation.
Exactly.
About
past,
Ellie.
About Ellie, yes.
Yeah, they're so good.
his whole point is that he wants to have people discussing the film on the way home.
Yeah.
That they don't figure it all out.
Right.
That's his big thing, and not to see that in those big paints, brushes that he does. So this is a hero. See it any way you can.
It was nominated for Best Foreign Film for Golden Globe, so maybe it'll get a nomination for Oscar. So it should play on the big screen. I think that should be a rule. They gotta show it on a big screen.
I think it is a rule. I think there used to be a rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
I don't know though, because Power of the Dog has not been anywhere on the big screen around here.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
What a disturbing film.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Anyway,
it is very
we digress.
Let's take a look at A Hero, Aghfar Farhadi, the great Iranian director. Next movie.
الان برای چی اومدید زندان؟
ولی خب شریکم پولم برداشت برای همین نتونستم قسطی وام پرداخت بکنم.
چرا لاغر شدی دفعه؟
والا من هر دفعه هم دهم.
فکر نمی‌کردم اینقدر بی طاقتت بشم.
دلم برات تنگ شده.
بفهم.
باشه. احیانا کسی نمیاد اینجا یه کیف گم کرده باشه.
نه چطور؟
ما یه مقدار طلا پیدا کردیم.
شما آقایی نیستین که تو تلویزیون اخبار استانشون تو میداد؟
بله.
محل این بام صدا کرده. فقط 10 نفر به من زنگ زدن پیغام فرستادن برای این بگو افتخار مایی.
مدرکی که این بابا همه عمرش یه روده راست شکمش نبوده. حالا ایشون شده قهرمان. من که بی سر صدایم خوبی کردم شدم طلبکار بی‌شرف ظالم.
آبرو خود تو خانواده رو ببری دیگه نتونیم توی شهر سر بلند کنیم.
چه کار کردی؟ چرا کار کردی؟
چه کار کردی؟
He's one of the directors, like Frank Capra, like Hitchcock, that I will see everything they ever.
Yeah.
Right, when I see his name, I have to see his film. I played Fireworks Wednesday, which was a film from 2007. Some of the films you can only get like now; they're just released through the not the supply chain. it's because it's because of political things. A film is delayed. But this is an earlier work. But this one, I mean, this man's growth of, and he's the first Iranian film. You have a little background on.
Yeah, I heard.
He got into it.
I heard a podcast with him speaking where he went to the cinema the first time when he was 8.
Right.
He had to travel a long distance. It's not like you know, it's in Iran. So
it was an effort.
Right, and he got there and they made it midway into the movie, and his whole time he was thinking, how did this story start? And he actually wrote what he thought would be a good beginning, and that got him spearheaded into like, I love movies.
That's
and at 13, he begged someone to be a director, and they actually let him. And he thinks back now, like, I can't believe they let me do that. But he would have.
That's such an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he's doing exactly what he should be doing.
Yeah.
That tells me.
Yeah.
You know, he filled in. He didn't whine about it. He just said, let me fill in, let me be creative.
Right.
Isn't that wonderful? That's
That
a
is
great
good.
story. That's fabulous. One of the greatest storytellers of all time, if not the greatest, and I am certainly not an expert on Shakespeare. I've seen my share of plays, TV adaptations. I've read Shakespeare. The film that the thespians will not even acknowledge. Do you know this tale? You know this about the M play?
Yes.
You're not supposed to say M.
Right.
It's bad luck. Then you're supposed to go backwards, or you need to touch your hand, do the hokey pokey, and turn yourself.
Right.
Something.
Yeah.
You call it the Scottish play.
Right.
So this is a Coen brother movie, not brothers. There's just one.
Joel.
Sam Elliott is the voiceover for that. So Joel does this with his bride.
Right.
Who, you know, they didn't give her a clothing allotment here. They just said, shop off the rack from the. One of my students, I played this and they said this is the castle needs an interior decorator.
Yeah.
So I watched this film. I want to get your viewpoint, and then I'm going to tell you what I saw in just a short little clip. Because I'm a big fan of Bruno Delbonnel, who's the fabulous four-time Delbonnel.
Yeah.
Harry Potter. Inside Llewyn Davis. I didn't like Inside Llewyn Davis, but it was shot well.
Yeah.
But he knows what he's doing with the camera.
Yeah.
Denzel, I love Denzel.
Denzel's amazing.
Love Denzel. But Francis, I like Francis. Did it land for you? And how much do you think it's a precursor? You have to know Shakespeare. Do you have to know the plot?
And I was an English teacher, so I don't think you have to know Shakespeare because he's so concise in his storytelling.
Okay.
I think you could get what's happening without knowing that. I don't think Francis was that great, and I feel bad saying it.
Okay. Did you see it twice?
I didn't see Chemsy. Yeah, I saw it twice.
Why did you see it twice? Were you checking yourself?
Obligation. That's a long story.
If it means things that you had a date.
Something wicked this week comes.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But I just wanted her to be like a girlfriend and I went the first time, and Barbara said, "Oh, I'm so excited because they're going to make her beautiful." I read, and I got there and I'm like, no. And in fact, Barbara even whispered, like, "How about some mascara?" Like, I wanted to see Frances, and no offense to like her persona. I mean,
I'm glad you said that.
I love the way she's got this mentality of I wake up like this. I wish I could be that way, but yet in this role, I wanted something like just a little jazzier than her dour.
Okay, you just did a little dump on Francis. Okay,
I know.
But what about our guy?
Denzel was amazing. Don't you know?
Was he?
I thought so. You tell me, Gus.
Was he?
Tell me your opinion.
Let's go to get a short clip and come back and see what the Greek thinks. Let's come back. I'm going to tell you my little tale of something wicked this way comes. This is the Lady Macbeth and her husband.
Oh, okay.
Her
That's
king,
really interesting.
her bad king. Go to the next clip if you can.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
So, thank you. Thank you for that. We're back. Thank you, Mia, for that. It illustrates exactly what worked 100%. The sound was never better in Byrne's Court ever. In sync with the photography, cinematography was fabulous.
I agree.
Everything was shot in an indoor set. Mark Palmer, if you're listening, so nothing was shot outside. It was all created.
Yeah.
Which is a pain in the tail. Okay.
Right.
The witches were great. They pretty much close to the text. So I'm curious. I was sitting with my friend Jeffrey Lynch. We're working on his movie. I'm co-producing that and a series hopefully to come. And he loves the cinematographer. I said, "What do you think, Jeffrey?" At the end, I never ask anybody in a theater what they think about a film. It's my thing. I blew my baseball cap.
Right.
I behead somebody before I ask them. Don't ask me.
And then do you carry it around?
I carry it around in a little lunchbox, a Shakespearean lunchbox. So I said, "Jeffrey, what do you think?" He goes, "Man, I was bored. That's some fancy words." And he said Denzel bored him. He was bored. So I said, I did this. I went, I said, "Don't stop talking." So I saw a lot of young people. Of course, I told this to my film class. There were young people. They said, define young, under 20, or Mia's age, in her 20s. These guys, these young kids, they were all 20. They're like, and their teacher was there.
Right.
They had a little discussion, and basically, I kind of got a consensus from them. Some of them thought it worked. Some of them think. I think it's a work in progress. I think you need to go back. Maybe you have to have, the language. I stopped fighting the language because I couldn't hear everything. My ear is not that good but if you watch visually, it was good. Yeah. I just didn't think Denzel was. I love him in Fences. I love him in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
I just like him as an actor, and as a man, I really respect him. We're talking about it. I think it's good. but it's something I'm going to watch and stream before, like, so I left my review incomplete. It's like, but I'm glad they did it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad they did it. You know,
Yeah,
at least they're doing something that's...
Yeah, they went outside
you know,
the box, right?
Yeah, exactly. One of our sponsors is Bookstore One, Sarasota. Are you guys moving when?
Mid-February.
Mid-February?
It's looking good.
You know, you got some Shakespeare over there?
We do, and we're gonna have a mezzanine with coffee upstairs, which
Ooh.
Shakespeare probably drank some coffee.
You know, I'll be like doing Romeo and Juliet over there. That's cool. It's mid-February. You're moving down to the Mark Building.
Yes.
Which is great. We have Andrew Ford, Sarasota State Auction, and Sarasota Trading Company under one roof. Next month, a really cool auction. Mia and Jay, great thespians, and they play that is life over there. And I work out over there and play over there with Andrew and the crew. And it's going to be a great auction, right? Gathering stuff right now. We're going to maybe do a mini film festival too. I'll keep you guys posted on that. I really want to have some support and cool things. Who else? We have Eric, who's fixing cars and working on some other sponsors. I met a gentleman who is going to come on board. But and then I want to like and share the show, you know, and tell people to not cancel me. Roxy, so great to see you. We're going to go out with what's his name again?
Bong Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho. This is my favorite movie from pre-COVID, and one of the great films of all time. This is a man who, Bong Joon-ho, he carries around he said a priest carry around Bibles. He said, when I want to go back to the masters, I look at Hitchcock's work or people I admire.
Oh, and he's working on a sci-fi piece with Robert Pattinson, who I love. So
Oh, wow.
That's coming up.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So
that's
Bong
amazing.
Joon-ho. We got Roxy Baker here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
See you guys at the movie. Go see our girl, Penelope Cruz, at Burns Court over the weekend. We'll see you guys at the movies, and go see Drive My Car. See you guys.
야, 윗집 아줌마는 IP 타임 암호를 거셨다 드디어.
와이파이도 다 끊기고.
여기 있네.
쏟아지면 와이파이를 줄까?
그래도 그 돌멩이 때문에 부모님 얼굴도 뵙고 좋더라. 건강들 하시고.
거리가 없으셔도.
귀엽지? 네가 내 대신 얘 과외 선생님 좀 해줘라. 영어.
대학생인 척하라는 거야? 너 이 좋은 실력으로 왜 미대는 맨날 떨어지냐?
아이씨 죽을래.
서울대학교 문서 위조학과 뭐 이런 거구나. 이 기정이에 수석이바가 아닐까.
전 이게 위조나 범죄라고 생각하지 않아요.
참으로 시의적절하다.
풀타임으로 수업 어떻게 하시는지. Is it okay with you? 다솜이는 완전 예술가 체질인데.
그래서 그런 건지 그동안 미술쌤도 여러 명 바꿔가면서 해봤는데요.
제가 사람 하나가 휙 하고 떠올랐는데.
근데 지금 진짜로 이상한 게 뭔 것 같아?